Hi, everybody. My name is Ruham Manzoor, and I'm the managing partner of Basis. And today we're with one of our oldest partners, which is INTO, and INTO's Newcastle Center. I have with us Clarice Almeida. We will ask her to introduce herself, what she does at INTO Newcastle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Clarice Almeida. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm the Marketing Recruitment Manager at INTO Newcastle University. I've been working at INTO Newcastle for the last almost 5 years now, and I absolutely love Newcastle. And I always say it's very easy for me to do my job because it's such an entertainment to be telling people how lovely Newcastle University are and how wonderful our students feel in Newcastle. So it is, a really good thing to be able to communicate and share with you everything that Newcastle has as a city, as a university, and as a student experience place.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. One of the things I tell my colleagues as well is that if you're not passionate about something, you shouldn't be doing that. And it's wonderful to see or find people who really love doing that. And of course, our circumstances sometimes make it very easy for us to do our job, like working with Newcastle. Actually, as I said, we've been working with you guys for a long time, and we've quite a few students there that have gone in the past, and they always have such a great experience. I mean, when people talk about studying in the UK, or Newcastle is actually not a obvious choice for many students from Bangladesh. I mean, it's not something that they've thought about, because of course one thing is that London, the big Manchester and all that, the big college schools of course come into mind, but Newcastle happens to be a prestigious Russell Group university, and it's also ranked one of the top universities, not only in the UK, but in the world. So, but a lot of times people don't know that. And I hope through this session, we're going to be able to clarify some of the things that make Newcastle such a pleasure for you to work with. So, Clarice, what we're going to do is we're going to start with you giving a short presentation about the university. So you can introduce the university and talk about it for 10-15 minutes. And then after that, we will open the floor for questions. And then, we will ask you about, how we can actually go about applying and all of that. All right. Yes. Of course, we will come in and take some part in that. So without any further ado, I'm going to add the presentation here, and we can take it from there.
Okay. Just 1 second. Yeah. Can you see the presentation okay?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay. Before I start, the point you made about how Newcastle sometimes it's not very known by people, and this is actually tends to be everywhere. I've been working with international students for 11 years now. I've been in the UK for 12, and I accidentally came to Newcastle. And I just was, and I'm still in awe how much more than any expectation I ever had, Newcastle gave me. But I've always, one thing that I find it really interesting, I've never ever met any international student who came to Newcastle and didn't want to stay. That's how much people love this place. But it's true that sometimes people think that we are in the middle of nowhere, there isn't much going on, and it's actually not true, because I had this feeling as well. And as you said before, 95% of internationals, over 95% of international students are very happy at Newcastle University. And this says a lot. We will go through a bit of, what the university has to offer. But I always like to start with where we are. Newcastle is in the middle of the UK, or in the northeast of England. And it's very easy to get to Newcastle because we have an international airport. We are also in the main train line. So in 3 hours, we are in London. And it is the capital of the Northeast. So there is everything happening here, with the difference that it is not as expensive as the other cities in the South and some of the places you mentioned before. Newcastle is at least 3 times cheaper to live than London, for instance. So it is, I've had friends who visited me who used to say, Newcastle is like the mini London, because there is everything happening here without, the big bucks you have to spend in London.
And this is something very important. Sorry, I was interjecting here, because a lot of times students, they want, I mean, there are 2 kinds of students. The one kind is where they want to live in a city, city environment, and then there are those who want to live away from a city environment. When you study in a city like London, of course, yes, it has everything. It has clubs, pubs, and a lot of noise. But when you're talking about studying, an international student going to a new environment to study, it offers so many distractions that it might be an issue. With Newcastle, yes, it has everything. It still has everything, but again, in bite sizes, I think. Yes. I mean, where students can not be as distracted, but at the same time enjoy their studies.
Yeah. I think for me, what I've always, always like about Newcastle is there is enough distractions. Don't worry about this. You will be distracted if you want to be, but the difference is you don't have to pay too much for that, and you can still enjoy both a bit of the life balance you can have, when you are studying, because you don't want to be paying to go everywhere when you are a student. You want to be enjoying, but not having to pay too much on transportation or even spend too much time on commuting. And that's why I always hear from students that they love the convenience of Newcastle, because this is the picture of the city center. So it is very convenient. You are within 10 minutes walk from place to place. You have the football stadium is part of the city center. The university is in the city center. And we also have a metro system. And the metro system is, again, it's very affordable. And it goes from the university to the airport or to the coast, where you can go and enjoy the beaches that we have in Newcastle. So it is very, very convenient. It's the word that describes the city without being expensive. This is a short video of, seeing a bit from the top, the city and the university. It's very ancient, but at the same time, modern inside. And this is the river that gives the name to Newcastle, Newcastle upon Tyne, with the 7 bridges. There is a lot of green space, the coast, as I mentioned. It is a lovely place to come to the quayside and enjoy a walk. This is a music hall, and it's not only during the day, the night is beautiful as well. So it is a very enjoyable place to be. And as a student experience, offers everything a student would want from a place. So it has been voted the best student city, 4th best student city. Like I said, like you saw from the video, the historical architecture, the beaches, the loads of things happening, very affordable, as I've mentioned more than once, but it's compact, but very safe and well connected as well. And one last thing I will say about Newcastle that it's very important is how friendly people are. When I came to Newcastle, I was very surprised how nice people were to me, because obviously that was not the expectation of British people. And then once I was in the south of the UK, I was in a taxi, and I mentioned to the taxi driver that I was, living in Newcastle, and he said, well, the problem in Newcastle is that people don't mind their own business. And that's when I understood why I felt more like at home, coming from Brazil, that people tend to be quite close. And I said, oh, okay, now it makes sense, that there is this difference, that people from the north are more friendly. They do mind your business as well, which is not a bad thing. It's a very good thing to have. I always tell students, open a map in the city center. If nobody asks you, whether you need help, you are in the wrong city.
Right.
Because,
wow.
yeah, it is. People are very friendly. I have very good British friends. And even my partner came to university here 20 years ago. He is British. He came 20 years ago, never left. That because he loves the people here.
Wow. Wow.
So it's not only international students. Anyways, these are other, some other photos of, a lot of parks around the city. The Grey Monument, which is the heart of the city center, with one of the most historical streets, Grey Street. So it's a beautiful place. In terms of the reputation of the university, like you mentioned before, it is part of the global top universities, ranked 16th for the research power, being part of the Russell Group, very connected with, alumni and institutions everywhere, but also very much focused on employability and the future of the graduates. But one very important thing is people don't understand sometimes TEF, which is the Teaching Excellence Framework. It is important because it's not only about research. Research gives, the power, the global power to the university, makes it part of this very prestige Russell Group. But we want students to also have a good experience with the teaching they get here. And that's why it is important, because you have other Russell Group universities that they have bronze, meaning the teaching is not of excellence as their research. And that's not what happens.
This is a very, very important point, because a lot of times students go after those big names, big universities, and that comes from, of course, the research quality. But a lot of times they get disappointed when they arrive on campus, because in terms of actual interaction with professors and the feeling at home, that is a lot of times missing, which I guess Newcastle does, and especially at INTO, where they prepare you for university studies. So, I guess you'll cover that soon.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm speaking in general about the university, but yes, INTO is even a different, entity in terms of the amount of support and, the teaching quality, because it is really about the students and in smaller groups. But I think, this framework came to mind because of how sometimes, like you said, you have brilliant researchers, but they are not necessarily the best teachers. So the experience might not be as good. So in terms of how the university is divided, we have 3 faculties: the HAS, SAGE, FMS. And within those faculties, we have 21 schools. And those 21 schools will have different course subjects. So we will have over 200 undergraduate courses and over 300 postgraduate courses. So obviously, it's impossible to cover it all. But I think I would point out architecture, engineering, computing, and business school, because the business school, it's part of a very selected number of 1% of the business schools that they have triple accreditation. But one thing that I really love about the Humanities and Social Sciences is that students can also have what we call the combined honors. So they can combine up to 3 subjects. So if someone wants to do education, history, and business, they can, which is quite unique. And the other thing that it's important to say, is that most of our courses will also offer placement year. So students will be able to stop after the second year, work full-time, paying only 10% of the tuition fees for that year, and come back for the last year of undergraduate degree. These are some of the top subjects, like I mentioned before: architecture, marketing, engineering, media is very also top in the UK, psychology, law, anatomy, and physiology. So just some for you to see how great the university is. In terms of what INTO Newcastle offers, we do have the International Foundation program that a lot of students might need if they need to come to the UK for their undergrad, because it's only 3 years. So if they haven't got the equivalent of A-levels, they will need International Foundation. And the International Foundation covers basically all of the programs you've seen in those schools, apart from medicine. It basically covers all the other courses. The International Year 1 is basically the same program of the Year 1 at the university, with the difference of the higher number of contact hours. So it's 21 hours a week. It's and also the requirements are a bit lower because the students have more contact with the teachers and in a smaller group before they progress to the Year 1. And we offer this in the business and architecture programs. And we also offer the Graduate Diploma, which is the PreMasters. So students who have finished their undergraduate studies can join the PreMasters, which will help them to progress to the Masters, but way more prepared, because the Masters is only 1 year in the UK. And this is available for business and humanities. The other thing that is very important to mention about INTO Newcastle programs is that we don't start only in September. We also have an entry in January, which helps a lot, especially because if students have missed the September, they can start in January, and they will start their course at Newcastle University, whether it's undergraduate or postgraduate or Year 2, in September. So you can even do your undergraduate in 3.5 years, or if you come to the International Year 1 because you've already got the equivalent of A-levels, or you've already done 1 year of university, you can do it in 2.5 years. And the same with the Masters in 1.5 years. Now, in terms of the scholarships we offer, I think it's important to point out that we offer a very good scholarship for students who are coming to do our foundation. So the scholarship can be of 10,000 or 20,000, being 5,000 in the foundation year, and then the other 5 in the first year of university, or 10-10. This is our INTO Center. We are at the forefront of the university campus. We are part of Newcastle University, joint venture with Newcastle University. There is no difference of being a student at INTO Newcastle or Newcastle University. But we have one purposely built center, which is beautiful. Our students always come back because they feel like it's home. And we also have our accommodation just at the back of the building. And it's a 24/7 security on-site accommodation with housekeeping coming also to your room. And it's literally 1 minute walk to the center. Sometimes I've seen students wearing their sleeping mask to the class, because that's how quickly they have to, they run from the bed to the class. In terms of the student experience, Newcastle University Students' Union offers over 160 societies and sports clubs you can join. The sports center has been recently renovated, so there's loads of state-of-art facilities. And the career service, as I mentioned before, there is a focus from the university on employability. So the career service has, worked a lot on helping, supporting students with their careers, with their placement year or CV interview. So it's the career service is there to help you, with your career afterwards, especially now that international students can stay after their degree for 2 years and work full time. So I hope, I have covered in this very short presentation why international students are so happy at Newcastle University. And I am more than happy to answer any questions you have about the city, the university, the student experience, anything you might want to find more about. Last, I would really encourage you to follow our Instagram, Facebook account, INTO Newcastle, because it is managed by alumni students. So you can always chat to them about, anything you would like to know, and also get in touch with us at INTO. Just emailing us into.marketing@ncl.ac.uk. So
great. Sorry, this has been great, Clarice. I just wanted to summarize some of the key points for our Bangladeshi audience. So first of all, if you're looking to study in the UK, obviously there is about 160 or more universities to choose from. So you want to choose universities where you can graduate, have a great experience, and then once you graduate, get employed and things like that. So or get into grad school. So the things that are going for University of Newcastle in that regard is not only is it ranked 16th in the UK, and it's part of the prestigious Russell Group of University, which means in terms of branding, when you say I graduated from University of Newcastle, that has its own impact. And the second thing is that it is ranked 160th in the world. So no matter where in the world you go, there are more than, I think, 9,900 or 10,000 universities in the world. So out of that, becoming 160, you can understand the quality of education. The other thing is that in terms of entry for Bangladeshi students, especially from the national curriculum, you normally have to do a foundation. But INTO also has the international year one, which allows you to get into the university but not lose the 1 year with the foundation. Though, if you don't meet the entry requirement for direct entry, you can always do the foundation. And with the international year one and the foundation, you'll be studying in small, intimate class sizes, where you get 20, 21 hours per week in front of your teachers, and that allows you to prepare when you're going for your actual university classes. But having said that, you're doing that on campus, you're getting used to the environment, the campus, enjoying all of the amenities that the university students have. And what I love about this the most is a lot of UK universities don't have scholarships. And if you go into Newcastle through the Pathway program, they do have the great 5,000 per year or 10,000 per year for the first 2 years scholarship. So if you get into that, and once you do the foundation, you might get a 5,000 or a 10,000, and then you can take that to your next year as well, which helps in reducing costs significantly. I mean, who doesn't want some extra money, right? And in order to enjoy that and apply, you can always get in touch with MACES. You can, send us a message on Facebook if you're looking here. You can, send us an email at mail@macesvd.com. You can also call us at 017-5566-0012. And we will be able to answer any questions you might have. Now, Clarice, we have a lot of questions. So the first question is, for PreMasters, what are the requirements?
So for PreMasters, you need to have a two undergraduate course.
So I will translate that.
Course, yeah, you should be able, if you have finished your degree, you should be able to be, and you need a 5.5 IELTS.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So I will clarify that point for Bangladeshi students. So for Bangladeshi students, normally the entry requirement for master's entry is a GPA of 3.25. Now, what that means is if you have a GPA of 3.1 or 3 or 2.9, that means you would not qualify for direct entry into the university, and so you can go through the PreMasters program and enjoy this beautiful university. At the same time, the IELTS requirement for most master's courses is 6.5 or 7, and if you have a 5.5, you can again enter through the PreMasters route. Clarice, do you do joint CAS or it's individual?
No, it's unfortunately individual. We hope it changes in the future, but it shouldn't be a problem depending on when you start and how long you stay in the UK to just extend your visa.
Right. So if you get into the PreMasters program, once you've done that, you can, and passed, you can just apply for your renewal while you're in the UK. It should not be a major issue. What's employability like in Newcastle post-COVID? Ooh.
It's a very good question. I don't have a magic ball, but COVID has hit everyone, every industry, service. But at the same time, I think it has also brought a lot of opportunities. So, there will be obviously some areas that I think it will be suffering a lot. But I do think there's once everything opens up, there will be so many more possibilities. And I think, it will go back to opportunities as normal.
Great. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's, no matter where in the world you go, I mean, COVID took a big chunk out of, it took its pound of flesh, let's just say. And it was a long time coming anyway. Every 100 years, we experience something like that. However, having said that, again, if you want to maximize your chances of postgraduate employment, you want to study in one of those universities which will give you the skills and the branding that employers are looking for, and that's where I think Newcastle will shine. And yes,
I believe giving you come to a very good top university, you get the opportunities, you are eager, to fight your way, you will get there because that's all it takes.
Exactly. You have to have that attitude that, yes, I can do this. So one other question is, what are the requirements for foundation scholarship?
So the foundation scholarship is based on merit. So obviously, the best English you have and the best grades you have, the higher your chances.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you have a minimum requirement or anything like that. It is based on the application.
You need to be accepted onto the course. That's one. But obviously, the criteria in differentiating who will get it will be based on merit. So it's the best grades or the best IELTS results.
This is a question that came. I will ask that question, but probably you won't be able to answer that, which is, tell us more about the Bachelor of Medicine and what are the requirements of A-levels and IELTS. So do you want to take that?
Well, I can only say medicine is a very, very, unique course because it's not only about A-levels. You have the UCAT, so you have interviews. So it's a very, very different, type of requirements in when you compare to other courses. So I'm not gonna tell you because it changes, and it depends on there is many different between every year in terms of the amount of points students need on UCAT as well, depending on the threshold. So my advice would be check online, do a bit of research but it's basically A-levels and UCAT.
So Rifat, I mean, just to answer your question again, I mean, from my side, because I've got so many students who have applied to medical programs and all that, it is literally the hardest program to get in. The minimum entry requirement for most universities, including University of Newcastle, that they put on the website is A-star AA. But if you have an A-star AA, and even if you have a great UCAT score, it doesn't mean you will be accepted. So once you apply and then they compare the entire pool of applicants, then they invite a certain number of those applicants. By the way, all of those applicants, you can bet you, are going to meet those requirements, right? A minimum. But once they see that profile, their essay, their history, if they have any internship experience, all of that, based on that, they call you for an interview. And then during the interview, they do the final selection. And again, it is really competitive. But you can understand that it is one of the most demanding programs of study, and you need to bring your A-star into it. The quick thing is you have to apply. The deadline for applying for medicine programs is October 15. So before that, you're going to need to have your UCAT score and the predicted grades and all of that, and then we can make the application for you. So that's that. Do you need to place separate application for the scholarship, or is it automatic?
No, it's not automatic. Basically, after you've applied for, and you have an offer, that's when you apply. It's for the scholarship as well.
Great. The final question right now that we have is, what are the other proficiency tests accepted by the university other than UKVI IELTS? For example, there is
course, but in general, because if you're coming for the foundation or coming for the year one, it needs to be IELTS UKVI. That's the only option. Unless you're doing online, which is obviously, but let's work with the idea that we will go back, to face soon enough. But in terms of if you go, to what we call the level 6, which is the PreMasters or directly, then you will have any of the accepted language tests, including TOEFL and
PT, Pearson Test of English.
Yeah, Pearson, Trinity.
Duolingo. So yeah, I mean, exactly. So, if you're going for the PreMasters or the foundation or a diploma, you're looking at UKVI IELTS or UKVI Pearson Test of English, which is, UKVI approved. But other than that, if it is joint CAS, you're going for your terminal degree, you can do any of these English proficiency tests. Now, the other question that we have is, what are the requirements for foundation course?
So you will need, what we normally say is the GCSE. So minimum of, I imagine the equivalent you have.
5 of A to B. Five GCSEs with A to B for O levels or GCSEs. For HSC, you need 55% once you've completed your HSC. But another great news is that if you have year 1 of HSC, those who have passed year 1 of HSC and have 55%, 75%. Can actually apply into the foundation program. So you don't need to complete your HSC to apply to the foundation program. But if you complete your HSC, then you can do 55% with no subject less than 50% to qualify for the foundation program. So, that's very good. I mean, I think it's accessible to many students, especially a lot of students from Bangladesh. If you have done your O-levels, and you're considering either do I do A-levels or do I go for a foundation foundation, I think this is a very good option because A-levels is, number one, it's 2 years. Number two, you have to have the grades and all that. And in Bangladesh, a lot of students, what they do is they go to school, then they go to their private tutor's house, like 2-3 private tutors per kid. So there is no life. So when you go for a foundation, there are some distinct advantages. One advantage is that you're on campus. You're studying at the campus of the university you're going to do your undergrad in, which means when a student goes into the direct entry, they have to get used to the place. It takes a few months to get used to the environment, the classes, where to do the shopping, where to do everything. So that takes up stress and time. But when you do the foundation, during your foundation, that is out of the way, so your results tend to be much better. The other thing is that the foundation is 1 year. So whereas you're doing A-levels for 2 years, the foundation is 1 year, so you save an entire year of your life. So when your friends are doing their A-levels, you are already in second year. So you can ask them to call you bhai. In Clarice, in Bangladesh, when you're a senior person, you're referred to as brother or sister, like after their name to show respect. So your friends all of a sudden become your juniors.
Oh, and the other, what you said, I think it's really important about the foundation is that I normally say it's the soft landing. It's when, we all know as an international student, you will come and, you will need to get used to the culture, to the city, where to get this, what to do there, a bit of the homesickness, but you will have a lot of support. And that's why we call it the soft landing, because it really helps you when you have all those students going through the same. And, it's very easy to relate, very easy to make friends, and you really feel supported. And that's what, students always feel like, oh, I really kind of arrived, when I had to join a bigger university audience. But yeah, so that's,
Exactly.
I would say definitely better than doing 2 years of A-levels, unless you really want to do medicine.
This is a great session, Clarice. Thank you so much for answering all the questions. We don't have any questions from the audiences, any more questions from the audiences. However, I have a question for you. Like,
yes.
Corona, how has it been? Like, how is student life during COVID? Can students do face-to-face classes? What are they up to now?
At the moment, the schools have come back in the UK, schools in general. The universities have only opened for those classes that require face-to-face because of labs, for instance. But I can see that things are getting better. The vaccination is rolling. I actually had mine this morning.
Congratulations.
So I'm not sure how I'm feeling, but I think I'm all right. So it is happening, and I think for me, for instance, this happened faster than I expected. So I got a text yesterday, and I booked for this morning. So that's how good the system is. So it is working, and I really believe in September we will be able to open face-to-face as normal.
I think they've already said that by May 28th, I think they'll open pubs. I mean, once it opens the pubs, I mean, you can tell that the government is sure that everything's going to be fine. And congratulations on your vaccine. By the way, Bangladesh has done a tremendous job with that. I mean, the vaccine has been rolled out. All my friends have got it. Unfortunately, I am in Toronto, and in Toronto, I think I'll have to wait till August or September before I can get my hands on a vaccine. However, that's a different story. So, however, for Bangladeshi students going into the UK, I think I can say with 80% level of confidence that universities will be able to do face-to-face classes by then. And actually, even if you don't do face-to-face, students are able to travel, because many of my students have traveled. They're doing online classes, but they're in their dorms. They're doing everything. I mean, I think it's business as usual now.
No, we still have a lot of students on campus. They are very well looked after, because obviously the minimum there of staff is in the university. The university, for instance, I was going to the office once a week. Everyone, including students or staff, we can get a test every day if you want.
Ah, right. Wow.
Because the university, the student union, they do the rapid tests all day, so it is very convenient.
So again, Clarice, we are at the end of our show. We have 10 seconds left. So thank you so much for such a great session and answering all the questions patiently. For those of you who are listening, I hope that you got a lot of information about the University of Newcastle, specifically the pathway options that it allows students to do, a PreMasters, Foundation, and Diploma. And the entry requirement is pretty lenient, and you can get started immediately for September. To apply, you can call us at 01755660012 or email us at mail@macesbd.com. You can also message us at our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/macesbd. I hope you found this session helpful. We'll bring you more and more of these sessions soon. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Hope to see you all face to face.